where he recruits Hulk and Valkyrie for a mission to overthrow Hela, which goes about as well as it can for a plan that ends with the complete destruction of Asgard via Fire Giant. In Wakanda, T'Challa's rule is challenged by his cousin Eric, who teams up with evil arms dealer Ulysses Claw, and then betrays him in order to gain favor with Wakandans, who know Claw as a vibranium smuggler. After being presumed dead, T'Challa returns, and aided by Nakia, Okoye, and Shuri, regains control of his country. After 6 years of waiting around, Thanos decides to personally seek out the Infinity Stones, and the results are devastating. He kills Loki and nearly obliterates the last surviving Asgardians, and an invasion of Earth leads to things getting so desperate that the whole Avengers crew, except Hawkeye and Ant-Man, who are under house arrest for violating the Sokovia Accords, need to get back together to sort it out. They don't do so well. Despite fighting on two fronts, with one small team in space and a massive force on Earth, Thanos gathers the stones, snaps his fingers, and kills half the life forms in the universe, dissolving them into dust. Before he dissolves, Nick Fury uses the space pager to alert Captain Marvel that Earth needs her help. A month later, Captain Marvel and the surviving Avengers track Thanos down in space, only to find out that he's destroyed the stones, and with them, any chance of bringing back the dead half of the universe. Thor beheads Thanos, and the Avengers return home. Weirdly enough, all of this happens while Ant-Man is involved in a relatively low-stakes heist movie. When the snap happens though, he's left stranded in the quantum realm. While he's there, 5 years go by, during which the heroes deal with the horrific trauma in various, mostly unhealthy ways. Notably, Tony Stark and Pepper Potts have a daughter named Morgan. Banner merges his brain with the Hulk, while Thor and Valkyrie found New Asgard in Norway. Hawkeye loses his entire family in the snap, causing him to go rogue, adopting a new hairstyle and anti-hero identity as the merciless Ronin, who hunts down and ruthlessly kills criminals around the world. One of these criminals is William Lopez, the father of fighting prodigy Maya. After seeing her dad die, Maya swears vengeance on Ronin, not knowing that her dad's boss, Kingpin, wanted William dead. After Ant-Man returns from the quantum realm, where for him only a few hours have passed, the heroes realize that the solution to the problem is of course time travel. With the help of Iron Man and the now smart Hulk, the heroes travel back to various key points in the timeline, including 1970, 2012, and 2014, to gather up the Infinity Stones of those eras, along with Mjolnir, circa 2013. They also inadvertently bring the Thanos of 2014 forward to 2023, along with all of his minions. Fortunately, the Hulk uses a rebuilt Infinity Gauntlet to wish everyone back to life, and virtually every hero in the entire MCU takes Thanos on at once. The final blow is dealt by Iron Man, who dies on the battlefield. After gathering for a funeral, Steve Rogers hops into the time stream to return everything to where it should be, returning after living a full life with Peggy Carter in an alternate past to bequeath his shield to Sam Wilson, naming him the new Captain America. Outside of the mainstream MCU, the version of Loki that the Avengers freed from an alternate 2012 in Avengers Endgame ends up in the Gobi Desert, where he immediately begins fulfilling his glorious purpose by trying to conquer the world again. Instead, he gets picked up by the Time Variance Authority, or TVA, a time police force tasked with hunting down rogue variants like Loki and destroying alternate timelines before they can branch out too far from their sacred timeline. Loki gets paired with Mobius, a sympathetic TVA agent who recruits the trickster god into the agency to help find their latest target, another Loki variant.
This isn't about you.
This variant turns out to be a female version of Loki called Sylvie, who restarts the multiverse, allowing a bunch of rogue timelines to emerge from history. Loki teams up with Sylvie and discovers the TVA is made up of variants forcibly recruited into the organization to prune rogue timelines and prevent really evil versions of the TVA's mysterious leader from destroying everything. While offered a chance to let this deception persist, Sylvie instead murders the mastermind, letting the multiverse run wild. While this may lead to the destruction of reality, it makes one cosmic being's life more interesting. The godlike voyeur, the Watcher, observes realities in which Peggy Carter receives the super soldier serum. Doctor Strange destroys his universe, and Thor becomes a party animal. Ultimately, the Watcher is forced to evolve from observer to doer when a variant Ultron threatens to destroy all sentient life in the multiverse. Assembling his own Guardians of the Multiverse team, the Watcher manipulates events so the alternate realities can continue to coexist. In the mainstream MCU, the effects of Hulk's reverse snap are being felt on both a cosmic and street level. People like Yelena Belova and Monica Rambeau snap back to existence, only to discover that 5 years have passed and their loved ones are now gone. Re-establishing their lives proves difficult, since different people live in their homes and billions are still legally dead. While support networks form, entire nations are also forcing out recent immigrants due to the sudden rise in population. Believing life was better during the blip when half of all life was gone, some people react to these changes violently. Anarchist Carly Morgenthau forms a terrorist group, the Flag Smashers, to attack governments threatening her one-world vision, and even augments her team with a new version of the super soldier serum. This puts her in the sights of Sam Wilson, who rejects Steve Rogers' request that he become the new Captain America. After working with Bucky Barnes and seeing how Steve's legacy can be tarnished by unworthy successors like the dangerously unhinged John Walker, Sam takes on the mantle of Captain America and stops the Flag Smashers. The sudden rise in sentient life on Earth also jumpstarts the Emergence, which threatens to destroy the entire planet when a new Celestial is born. Alerted by the cosmic event and a few remaining deviants, the Eternals reunite. Where before they have always stood by and allowed planets to be destroyed, a few now have enough love for humanity to try and save the Earth. Cersei draws enough power from her teammates to halt the birth of the Celestial Tiamat, and the Celestial Erisham uses the Eternals' memories to determine if Earth should be spared. While all this is going on, one rogue Avenger is unknowingly creating her own brand of chaos in the small town of Westview, New Jersey. Unable to cope with the loss of Vision, who Thanos kills by ripping the Mind Stone out of his head, Wanda Maximoff manifests powerful reality-warping abilities. Drawing from her childhood love of American sitcoms, Wanda warps Westview into an idyllic town where she lives a suburban life with a new version of Vision. She even gives birth to twin boys who quickly mature in a single episode. To maintain this illusion, Wanda inadvertently mind controls the real-life citizens of Westview into becoming her personal puppets. Her activities attract the attention of the new intelligence agency SWORD and Agatha Harkness. While Wanda eventually comes to her senses and tries to free Westview, Agatha goads Wanda into a battle. Wanda comes out on top, however, and although she has to sacrifice her happy life with her husband and children, she embraces her new role as the Scarlet Witch. She also takes Agatha's Darkhold and starts studying it, leading to some major problems very soon. Former assassin turned car valet Shang-Chi, currently going by Sean, learns his father is gunning for him when 10 Rings agents steal the jade pendant his mother left him. Teaming up with his sister, Shang-Chi finally addresses his issues with his father, stopping Wenwu from unleashing the soul-sucking monster known as Dweller in Darkness on the world. Before dying to save his son, Wenwu grants Shang-Chi the 10 Rings, which begin sending signals out into the universe. In Europe, Peter Parker attempts to have a vacation free of Spider-Man. Unfortunately, this becomes impossible when Nick Fury, actually the shape-shifting Skrull Talos, who is covering for Fury while he's on vacation in space, recruits Spider-Man to help Mysterio, a man claiming to be from an alternate universe, to save the world from dangerous elemental beings. Except it's all a lie. Mysterio is just Quentin Beck, a disgruntled ex-Stark employee who uses Peter to get his hands on a pair of Stark tech sunglasses that can control an army of weaponized drones. Spider-Man gets the drop on Mysterio's illusions to keep him from killing thousands of people. But in a final act of spite, Mysterio exposes Peter's secret identity to the world. With his secret identity now exposed, Peter turns to Doctor Strange, hoping the sorcerer can snap his fingers and wish his problems away. Instead, Strange offers to cast a spell to make the world forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man. It seems like an ideal solution, until Peter keeps asking Strange to rewrite the spell, creating multiple fractures in the multiverse and drawing in people who know Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Soon, Spider-Man villains from different cinematic universes, including Dr. Octopus, Sandman, the Lizard, and Electro, begin slipping into the MCU. However, the worst new arrival is the Green Goblin, who kills Peter's Aunt May. Distraught, Peter receives help from an unexpected source, two multiverse Peter Parkers who look a lot like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Together, the Spider-Men concoct some creative cures for their enemies and depower their shared rogues gallery. But just as things seem to be looking up, the multiverse begins to fracture. Peter does the responsible thing by asking Strange to make the whole world forget Peter Parker and prevent the villains from coming through. This essentially makes Peter a non-entity in the MCU, cuts him off from his support network of heroes and friends, and sets him up for a brand new trilogy of solo Spider-Man films. However, not all heroes need to be alone for the holidays. After a now 22-year-old Kate Bishop crashes an underground New York auction and steals Clint Barton's former Ronin outfit, she draws a lot of unwanted and potentially lethal attention to herself from the Tracksuit Mafia and Kingpin. Fortunately, Hawkeye is in town with his family to see the embarrassingly catchy Rogers the Musical. Initially hoping to retrieve his Ronin suit and keep Kate out of trouble, Clint ends up mentoring Kate as they go up against Maya Lopez, aka Echo, Yelena Belova, and Kingpin. After bonding with Clint over their shared trauma and showing she's really good at shooting people with trick arrows, Kate looks like she'll be taking over the mantle of Hawkeye and joining the MCU's ever-expanding roster of new superheroes. Every universe meets its end one day, but right now, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is expanding faster than ever. The addition of TV shows on Disney+, as well as Disney's acquisition of the Marvel properties that once belonged to Fox, means that more characters are entering the MCU than ever before. In addition, Marvel Studios' collaboration with Sony, which owns the film rights to Spider-Man and many Spider-Man-related characters, means the universe is more open to outside visitors than ever before. From the previous Sony Spider-Man to the Tom Hardy version of Venom. On Disney+, fans will soon be treated to the arrivals of Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, Echo, and a secret invasion of Skrulls. On the big screen, a multiverse of madness is preparing to burst open. Also on the big screen, we'll see the further adventures of Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight, the return of Blade, and an exciting sequel in the third Ant-Man and the Wasp adventure, which will feature Kang the Conqueror, a menacing variant of the character you may know as He Who Remains. A Black Panther sequel will broaden the world of Wakanda, and a fourth Thor movie will prove Jane Foster worthy of wielding the hammer. And in the more distant future, we'll certainly see the arrival of the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and who knows what else. The MCU timeline is an ever-shifting thing. But when it comes to the first 15 years or so, you can now consider yourself fully caught up.
Cool? Cool. So cool.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about the Marvel Cinematic Universe are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.